Ladies and gentlemen, Moses Kuria is not a madman. Moses Kuria has been in the news for very wrong reasons. But if you believe that Moses Kuria is mad, then you need to go for medical checkup. But one thing I know for sure is that Moses Kuria could be haunted by so many things, including the ghost of Chris Msando. But Moses Kuria is not a madman. Yesterday, Moses Kuria made some interesting post on his Facebook page. Moses Kuria is saying the truth which even him knows is that he wants a third term. He is referring to President Uhuru Kenyatta. This time as a prime minister in Baba's government. This is unpalatable and unacceptable to us, the sons and daughters of Kikuyu peasants. We shall revisit. I choose to look at this statement by Moses Kuria using a different lens. Because personally, I've always believed that Moses Kuria is President Uhuru Kenyatta's Trojan horse. Moses Kuria is talking of Uhuru Kenyatta becoming the prime minister in Baba's government. One thing I've always opined on this platform, that if this one mistake which the Deputy President William Ruto ever made was to assume that President Uhuru Kenyatta didn't have any interest, and therefore he didn't consider the interest of President Uhuru Kenyatta. Uhuru Kenyatta is too young to retire. I'm just quoting Francis Atwoli. And if you leave Uhuru Kenyatta outside government and you are the president, he's going to give you big trouble. So William Ruto forgot to take care of Uhuru Kenyatta's interest. Raila Odinga promised to take President Uhuru Kenyatta's interest. And that's why Raila Odinga supported the Building Bridges Initiative process. BBI was basically President Uhuru Kenyatta's own initiative to serve his own interests after retirement. So in this video, I want to try and discuss the hidden message Moses Kuria is trying to pass. Before we go into that, those who are watching this channel for the first time, please click the subscribe button. To the subscribers, please also give it thumbs up, please. This is a personal request and direct request. Just click that thumbs up button now before you proceed. And you can also support this channel by sharing this video and by dropping your comments. Before I go into the details of Moses Kuria's message, Moses Kuria is not mad. And Moses Kuria understands the psychology of his audience. I want to give you 3 recent examples. When Moses Kuria was coming from Dubai for from his medical treatment, he organized homecoming. And during that homecoming, Moses Kuria invited guests. And one of the guests Moses Kuria invited to that event was a gentleman called Stanley Livondo. When Livondo was given a chance to speak, Livondo hit out at the Deputy President William Ruto ruthlessly. Moses Kuria later on apologized for the statement by Livondo, but the message was already home. Livondo told the people of the larger Mount Kenya region who are supporting the Deputy President that the main reason why President Uhuru Kenyatta fell out with his deputy was because William Ruto wanted to eliminate President Uhuru Kenyatta. He made those attempts. You know, Moses Kuria was not mad to invite Livondo. If you've studied the history of Livondo, those are the roles he normally plays during times like this when politics is high octane. Let us look at the second instance. when the deputy president finally decided, after 5 years, to go to Gatundu South and to President Uhuru Kenyatta's Ron village, Moses Kuria decided to join him there. And as was expected, Moses Kuria reminded the Kikuyu nation about the 1965, was it 1965 or 1960? I think 1965 oath, in which the Kenyatta government oath the Kiambu people or elders not to support Jaramogi Odinga, and also not to allow the presidency to cross River Chania. Because supporting Jaramogi Odinga is supporting someone who is not circumcised. That statement by Moses Kuria caused a huge storm in this country. And you want to believe that Moses Kuria is mad. Moses Kuria is not mad. The moment Moses Kuria uttered those statements before the deputy president spoke, that was the only message which came out of that visit. And even now, very few Kenyans are remembering that the deputy president was actually in Gatundu South. So Moses Kuria took the limelight from him, and it was deliberate. And yesterday, but one, the deputy president was in Muranga. And again, Moses Kuria, in a church service, I remember Ndindi Nyoro telling him not to talk bad, and he respected that. But in one of the rallies, Moses Kuria made reference to Raila Odinga's eyes. And today, the entire country now understands why tears are normally rolling in Raila Odinga's eyes because of Moses Kuria's statement. Nobody is remembering the message of the deputy president from Muranga. So I've added all this, and I'm coming to the conclusion that Moses Kuria is actually not mad, but he could be haunted. And Moses Kuria could be President Uhuru Kenyatta's Trojan horse. And that's how I'm looking at his statement yesterday. Let me read for you that statement again, because I've talked a lot. It says, Moses Kuria is saying, the truth which even him knows is that he wants a third term, this time as a prime minister in Baba's government. This is unpalatable and unacceptable to us, the sons and daughters of Kikuyu peasants. We shall revisit. Let me just begin that if Uhuru Kenyatta wants to become the Prime Minister of the Republic of Kenya, Kenyans can stop him. But Moses Kuria does not have any capacity to stop Uhuru Kenyatta from becoming the Prime Minister of the Republic of Kenya if he wants. But Kenyans can say enough is enough. But what am I trying to get from Moses Kuria's Facebook post? 4 things only. Number one, I think Moses Kuria is out to provoke a discussion amongst the Kikuyu nation. And that's why he's referring to them as sons of peasants. He wants to provoke a discussion amongst the Kikuyu nation about the possibility of Uhuru Kenyatta becoming the Prime Minister of the Republic of Kenya. Why is that important? That one is important because Jomo Kenyatta was a Prime Minister, but the most important thing is that the Prime Minister will actually be more powerful than the President. And therefore, the Kikuyu nation will still be in power. Remember, what we are foreseeing is a situation where Raila Odinga is going to become the president. Kalonzo Musyoka is going to be Prime Minister. If not Kalonzo Musyoka, we are going to have Peter Munya, Amiru. So the Kikuyu nation will be out of government. So Uhuru Kenyatta is likely to come as a Prime Minister who is powerful. And therefore, the face of the Kikuyu nation in government will be there. So this thing is now being discussed in the larger Mount Kenya region, that we are likely to have Uhuru Kenyatta coming back as a prime minister. You see, the Kikuyu nation don't hate Uhuru Kenyatta, don't be cheated. Their problem has always been Raila Odinga. And this happened because Uhuru Kenyatta did not really sell them the handshake much earlier. So if you give the people of the mountain an opportunity today to vote between Ruto and Uhuru, Ruto will see dust. So that's the honest truth. So Moses Kuria is provoking this discussion amongst the Kikuyu nation. And you know the end result, what it means by provoking that discussion. That's number one. Number two, I also tend to think that what Moses Kuria is trying to communicate and tell the DP and his brigades is that he's actually trying to tell the DP in a different way to allow more parties in the larger Mount Kenya region to sponsor candidates. Because if that will not happen, then what is going to happen is that Jubilee Party might win some seats. So basically, a prime minister will be voted for in parliament. I told you the other day that Moses Kuria putting on that blue shirt is, if you're coming from anywhere, you'll just see Azimio in William Ruto's rallies. Yeah. So if Moses Kuria's party were to be allowed freely to sponsor candidates in a Kiambu, for example, and he manages 2 members of parliament, then in Murang'a he manages 1, then in Kirinyaga, let's say 2, you know, maybe Nairobi 1 or sneaks, Moses Kuria will have 7 members of parliament or even 6, and those members of parliament will be handy when the votes will be required to make Uhuru Kenyatta the prime minister of the Republic of Kenya. So basically, what he's trying to do is trying to show Ruto that there is a need for them to be allowed to sponsor candidates. But the end game, in my view, is that once elections are done and dusted, Raila Odinga becomes the president, then these members of parliament will now vote for Uhuru Kenyatta in parliament as the prime minister of the Republic of Kenya. Number 2, in my view, why he's talking of this is that Moses Kuria is keen on forcing William Ruto to choose a running mate from the mountain. Because if Uhuru is planning to come as a running mate, as a prime minister, and that's a discussion, then it will only be fair for the DP to promise the Kikuyu nation something. And the only thing he can promise them, in my view, is the running mate. That's the honest truth. The running mate slot. So Moses Kuria is now telling the DP it's time to choose a running mate from the mountain. What is the implication of William Ruto choosing a running mate from the larger Mount Kenya region? Uhuru Kenyatta will go outside there and tell Kenyans that the truth of the matter is that 2 tribes have ruled this country for several years. So it's important now to shift power. So shifting power from the Kikuyu and Kalenjins and giving it to Luo and Kamba will excite the rest of the country. The Kikuyus who are supporting Ruto and the Kalenjins will mention about 3 tribes, about 3 families. They'll mention Moi, they'll mention Jaramogi, they'll mention Kenyattas, but the rest of the country who have never ruled will go by what Uhuru is telling them, that power is now shifting from the 2 tribes. Yeah. And lastly, I tend to think that this could also be a message crafted by NIS and the deep state to test the reaction of Kenyans on possibility of Uhuru Kenyatta becoming the prime minister of the Republic of Kenya. So Moses Kuria is assumed to be Ruto supporter and is talking of Uhuru Kenyatta becoming a prime minister. So I'm certain those guys are now camping on on Moses Kuria's Facebook page, reading the reaction of Kenyans. How are Kenyans reacting to this? And indeed, if you go to Moses Kuria's page, The Kikuyus and the Kalenjins are supporting whatever he's saying, but majority of the rest of the country are against that. I mean, are actually, sorry, what I'm saying is, if you go to that post, and I challenge you to go to it, you'll realize that the Kikuyus and the Kalenjins are supporting Moses Kuria, that Uhuru should not become the prime minister. But the rest are telling him this, he doesn't have any power. Those who support Raila Odinga are telling him that for them now, they can give Uhuru anything he wants. And those are the reactions these guys will be using. And therefore, Moses Kuria is working in favor of President Uhuru Kenyatta. I don't know what to think, but that's my take. Thank you guys, and please, may you have a good day. Bye-bye.